Alright, so if you clicked on this video, you know what it's about. It's about how much I dislike this person right here. I'm Hasan Piker. Truly a massive piece of shit. Biggest Twitch streamer on that, when it comes down to leftist media. And, I've, done two shorts about him. One when he was banned from Twitch for saying that if you care about the Medicare system, that we should kill a United States senator.
Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. The reason why I'm saying if you cared about Medicare or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott is because, and not make him a prominent part of the Republican Party, is because he, to this day, is still also known as committing the largest Medicare fraud in U.S. history.
Or, when he... it was revealed that he went to Diddy parties. That shit was fucking wild to me. The first time I heard about him was the whole, oh, if you care about the Medicare system, kill Rick Scott. Which, shit. I live in Michigan, and I fucking don't like the way that Gretchen Whitmer was a bit of an authoritarian leader of my particular state during the whole COVID thing, but I would never in a million years, whether my audience was one person or a million people, even suggest for anyone to bring harm to them. Even though, I think that, yes, Gretchen's a piece of shit. So, just saying. I just wanted to talk about, a couple of small things and, try to keep the footage of him to a minimum, because every single time somebody has the most mundane complaint about the guy, or they point out, all of these irrefutable facts, and, he jokes about them without ever, saying, hey, you're wrong, I don't actually support terrorists. Because, the guy does. He's straight up a propagandist. And recently he was on the news inside of Australia, and then, there was a couple of other articles written about him, and all of them basically said, yes, this guy's a piece of shit. And I did see the clip of him reacting to the Australian news channel that talked about him being a piece of shit. So, I'll just show him acting like a child right here.
Fluff pieces in the New York Times? What is going on?
Is the New York Times pro-Hamas? Is the New York Times pro-Hamas? What's going on? Why are they pro-Hamas?
Yeah, 33 and behaving like that. Yeah. The guy's 33, he gets all of his news from propaganda funded by terrorist organizations, from Hamas, Hezbollah, all these other groups, and he advertises their propaganda and will straight up just show it. And then all the other news he gets, God, the other day when I did that Carmelo Anthony video where I talked about it's not a cleat sharpener, because he only gets his news through Twitch comments and propaganda from terrorists, he continued the spread of the fictitious cleat sharpener message that people on TikTok and elsewhere just for whatever reason believe.
Situation. There's an initial confrontation. He goes to his bag and he gets this. I don't even know if it's a knife, but it's a object that you can clearly stab someone to death with. Whatever, the sharp object. Okay, and then he comes back and he sees him again, and the interaction basically restarts. In that process, there is still self-defense. An argument you can make for self-defense. It was a cleat sharpener for sports cleats. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Anyway.
Not exactly the greatest person. And, any time that people call him out on this shit, he either winds up being oh, they just have a, weirdly sexual attraction to me, or they're a Nazi, a pedophile, a sex pest, And he supports organizations that want to kill the Jews, that specifically want to do that, who go around threatening their own people with extreme violence and kill anyone in their own countries that wind up disagreeing with them. So he's a Nazi supporter, essentially. Like the whole pedophile thing. The guy went to Diddy parties. Like, he confessed to it. He said that shit with his own fucking mouth. Like, and his own tweets. Like, here are the tweets. Here is him, saying it with his own fucking mouth.
Into this, back, sphere, Epcot-looking thing in the back of, the house that P. Diddy was renting for his, and was throwing after parties at Coachella.
And then on top of that, the guy went to a brothel in Germany that was specifically raided because of the fact that they had sex-trafficked minors working there. Guy flew to the other side of the world specifically to get his rocks off with some fucking kids. Allegedly. I'm not saying that the sex-trafficked individual that he had sex with at that brothel happened to be underaged, but given how many there were that were there because of the fact that they were drugged, kidnapped, and brought to that place, like I said, not a good person. So, that also adds to the whole sex pest thing. So, those are the three things that he accuses people of. And quite frankly, the fact that he has such a large audience, given the fact that he is nothing but a propagandist who gets his news from propaganda and comments on Twitch, if, let's say, there was somebody out there who, I don't know, never picked up a history book in their life, and they're like, I want to learn about World War II. So you know what they do? They read Hitler's book, Mein Kampf. They, look exclusively at Nazi propaganda, and then, join these forums of all these neo-Nazis saying how great Hitler was, and it's just oh yeah, all of you don't understand. Hitler was cool and based. He wanted to ban cigarettes in Germany because of the fact that it was leading to cancer. So he was great for humanity as a whole. Mind you, completely ignoring all of the death camps. And, this dude would basically become a neo-Nazi. He would straight on be striking the Elon Musk pose, just on the regular, constantly talking oh, you guys don't understand. Hitler was cool. Hitler was based. The Nazis were cool. The Nazis were based. Except, in this case, it's a guy going with quite literally the worst people around, and his audience of people that are either in that organizations are, just complete and utter morons, or, teenagers. So you got this guy, his audience of, terrorist supporters, and, they're just listening to him be oh yes, Hamas is great, Hamas is good, you guys don't know how awesome Hamas is. Yeah. Get fucked. The guy literally is a rape-denying, terrorist-supporting sack of shit, and quite frankly, he's a dangerous person when it comes down to it because of the fact that he is using his platform that he got from, having connections with his uncle, who I believe runs, a media company, and, how he's basically just a Nepo baby with, millions of dollars at his disposal. This guy was born with a fucking silver spoon in his mouth, and he comes out here pretending to be a communist and all this shit. The fact that he's got anyone that's willing to support him or defend any of his ideals. Hell, I made a short about him going to, the Diddy parties. And, I said nothing about Palestine, and I got a comment that was saying, free Palestine, this person chanting it. And, yes, I say that Palestine should be free from the fucking terrorists that are killing their civilians and keeping all those hostages that is resulting inside of Israel needing to, drop bombs and drone strikes on bases that these people are setting up inside of schools, hospitals. Hell, they're fucking kidnapping children and women off the streets of Palestine just to have them as more human shields. And this guy, this guy's fucking out there defending them like some fucking terror supporting piece of shit. Like, and I'm not saying that he is a pedophile. I'm just saying that the evidence points to him being one. And quite frankly, if it looks like shit, it smells like shit, and everybody smells it on your shoes, like, we're gonna believe that you stepped in shit. But yeah, I believe he's a pedophile. I believe he is. I believe he's a sack of shit terrorist supporter. I believe that he is using his message to cause more hate and divisiveness in the world than to propagate any sort of peace, even though he's claiming to be pro-peace. I don't know. Personally, like, I don't like the guy. I don't like his message. I don't like his brand as a communist nepo baby who rubs elbows with quite literally the worst human beings on the fucking planet and cries when a sniper posing as a journalist gets killed. Yeah, no, he's just a useless cunt. Fuck him. Fuck his fans. And, yeah. That's all I gotta say. If you, like, hate watching him, like, you know, I'll fucking hate watch the shit out of stuff just so that I can talk bad about it. Like, oh, you don't know this, you don't know that, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, to the people that hate watch him just because it's like, yeah, I want to have a genuine thing to say when I'm talking about how much I dislike him. Like, go ahead, hate watch away. I plan on just having this be one video unless, for some reason, my tiny-ass channel winds up catching his attention. Which, you know, if that fucking happens, like, hey, Hasan, fuck you. Just terror supporting cunt. Bye.